My name is Dr. Mariah Starr, and I'm going to be giving a series of videos based on the lectures I gave in Northeastern on corporate social responsibility and social entrepreneurship. I taught courses for the past couple of years, and now I'm going to give the same material in these videos. So, we start with a basic understanding of how the world works. Here is a pyramid. It's divided into three sections. At the top of the pyramid is the state. In the middle of the pyramid are corporations. At the bottom of the pyramid are citizens. Now, this pyramid does not actually exist in the real world. You cannot go anywhere and find a pyramid physically with this description. But it is a very useful way of thinking about this for a couple of reasons. First, we all know what states are, what corporations are, and what citizens are. And we can divide them in the pyramid according to their presence. So there are approximately 190 states or governments in the world. There are tens of thousands of corporations in the world. And there are approximately 6.5 to 7 billion citizens in the world. So the pyramid structure reflects the quantity that we have. There are very few states, there are more corporations, and there are billions of citizens. But what we also see here is how these entities interact in our lives. The corporation is where most of the money is. That's where the jobs come from. The state has some money and is able to attract corporations to do business in good business environments. The citizens, in contrast, have almost no money. And so most of the citizens are shut out of the state and the corporation. Now this leads to a few important things. States work very well in the industrialized and Western world. So let's look at how these work in practice. So there are generally two kinds of states. There are strong, rich states, and there are weak, poor states. And the majority of citizens in the world live in these weak, poor states. In contrast, about 10% of the citizens in the world live in the strong, rich states. So if you look at a map of the world, you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Consider, for instance, the populations of North America and Europe. So you have the USA with 300 million citizens. You have Canada with about 30 million citizens. And then you have Europe, which collectively has about 330 million citizens. So you add up all these numbers, and you get 660 million. And as I've already said, the total population of the planet is about 6.6 billion. 6.6 billion. So in North America alone and Europe, you have only 10% of the entire human population on the planet. But it's the USA, Canada, and Europe that collectively have the most resources. The strongest militaries, the wealthiest economies, the biggest banks, the biggest commercial markets. So when you look at these entities, the state, the corporation, and citizens, what you often find is that the state and the corporation collaborate on earning as much money as possible. And often this collaboration takes the form of corruption. Corruption meaning using public resources for private gain. So if you look at places like Russia or Asian countries, you will find, such as in India, a lot of public employees using the public coffers to enrich themselves, to buy bigger houses, to have big bank accounts, etc. So that means that the citizens, they remain very, very poor. And they keep getting poor. So when we talk about corporate, social responsibility, we are talking about two things. First, we're talking about corporations that behave responsibly in the public. They are not corrupt. They have good intentions. They provide services for the people and for the citizens for a fee. And more importantly, they have different kind of philanthropic programs. They give money for different causes. They might give, say, 10% of their profits each year to charity. They might engage in what's called cause marketing. After all, corporations can be good citizens if we just push them in that direction. If we as citizens tell corporations, we will buy your products and services if you behave responsibly. Problem is, most corporations do not behave responsibly. We might call them evil corporations. Now, evil is a strong word, but we can pretty much tell from the level of employment the difference between good corporations and bad corporations. Because we can tell the difference between good jobs and bad jobs. Good job and bad job. We all know the difference. It's very intuitive. So let's start with a bad job. What is a bad job? Well, let's see here. A bad job likely has the following characteristics. One, low pay. You get paid almost nothing. In some cases, it might feel like peanuts. $1 per hour, maybe even 10 cents per hour in underdeveloped countries. Two, you learn almost nothing. You are bored. Three, you're pretty much chained to your desk. You cannot go anywhere. You don't have any friends that you like at the office. Your coworkers are mean to you. Your boss is mean to you. Mean people. And so when we talk about bad jobs, we always mean we're not paid enough, we don't learn anything, and we hate our colleagues. So that's a bad job. What is a good job? A good job. And for some people, a good job might be called a dream job. The ideal job that you want. What does that consist of? Well, in contrast to a bad job, it has a high salary. You also learn a lot. You grow into your job. You're well trained. And third, instead of hating your coworkers, you love them. You go into the office, you feel like part of the family. You tell jokes to each other, you have fun, you play games, you socialize, you become friends outside of the office. You have the ability to go and do amazing things together. You build the teamwork. So you're part of a team or a family. You look forward every day to going to work. You get up excited that this job is there, that you learn so much, that you get paid so well, that you're surrounded by so much love and creativity. You think it's wonderful. So that's pretty obvious. It's a good job. Now this, of course, raises the question. Why do bad jobs exist? Why is there such a thing as a bad job? How could there be such a thing as a place that you go to against your will to get paid nothing, to be around people you hate, and to be bored. Why would you do that? Now, a lot of my students, in answering this question, say, you just do it. It's part of paying your dues. It's part of society. And I always say, bullshit. I don't think it's right for people to have bad jobs. In fact, I think it's a human right to have good jobs. So then why do bad jobs exist? Why do we tolerate a capitalist economic system that gives us lots of bad jobs and very few good jobs? Why? Well, I have an answer to that. A lot of this has to do with how we define the job itself in terms of capital. Capital, because of course we exist within capitalism. That's the free market. So what kinds of capital are there? Well, I think there are three types of capital. The first, which is most familiar to everyone, is financial capital. Money. The second is not so obvious, but we still know about it. It's what helps you make money. It's your capability, your skill, maybe a patent, copyright, a trademark. We call that intellectual capital. And third, when you go to the office and you have friends, you feel like a family, that's called social capital. Social capital. I mean, we know this already because companies make money by tapping into social capital. They get people to spread the word about a new product or a new service. It's called word of mouth. They use intellectual capital. They use trademarks. They use patents. Drug companies get patents on fancy drugs and make billions of dollars per year by having the exclusive right to that drug for, say, 10, 15 years. So these are the three forms of capital. It's pretty obvious when you think about it. And I think what happens with corporations that go bad is they tend to forget about social capital and intellectual capital. They focus only on the financial capital. They get so caught up in what they call the bottom line that they forget about all the rest of what makes us human. They don't teach us or train us. They don't care about our families, our friendships. They don't care how well we relate to our coworkers. All they want us to do is show up to work every day and make them money. So, ideally, corporations have this model of what they want from an employee. Corporations have this sense that an employee works for low pay. But if they can get away with it, corporations want you to work for free. No pay. That's what they're trying to do ultimately. No pay. Second, you are a human being. You have to take bathroom breaks, you take lunch breaks, you go to breakfast, you go to dinner. Corporations would prefer you to stay there and have 100% productivity. meaning you never leave your desk. You never leave the office. You just stay there, pretty much chained to the desk. And then third, they don't care about your family or your friends. No family and no friends. If a corporation can get its employees to do this, it makes record profits every year. So look at this. No pay, 100% productivity, no family or friends. We have a word for that in the West. When a corporation has employees who work for free, have 100% productivity, and no family or friends, we call them slaves. It's slavery. And this is what corporations ideally want. If you look throughout Western history, from Egypt to the Roman Empire, to the Greeks, all the way up to the American Civil War, to serfdom in Europe, it's people getting rich off of slavery, and slaves being the fundamental unit of production. Corporations don't want you to have a brain. They don't want you to have a life with family, friends, kids. They don't want to pay you anything. They just want to make profit. So what we're trying to do in this situation is convince corporations that there are more forms of capital. There is financial, but you have to emphasize the intellectual and the social. Now, collectively, you call this human capital. So the reason I give this course and teach about these subjects is because we are living in an era in which corporations have dehumanized you. They have convinced us that all there is to life is making money, as much money as possible. And if you can't make it through a corporation, start your own corporation. They have dehumanized us. They've turned us into robots. They've convinced us that life should be lived only on the basis of money and profit. Again, I say bullshit. What I'm trying to do is to humanize you. I want you to recognize your humanity. I want you to recognize that there's more to life than financial profit. Financial profit is important, but there's also learning. There's also friends, family, caring for people. These are essential. So this is what I'll be talking about as I continue these videos. I'm going to help you to understand why corporations, especially multinational corporations that emphasize profit above all else, are evil, and why they must be dismantled. And more importantly, I'm going to teach you how to replace your bad job with a good job. How do you replace a bad job with a good job? Well, first thing you do you quit. You quit your job. You say to your boss, I'm not coming in. I have dignity. I have self-respect. I'm talented. I want to learn. I have friends. I'm quitting this job that has low pay, no freedom, and doesn't let me have friends or family. So, you quit your job. You're free. Now what? Well, now you have to create a job. Not find a job. Not find another bad job to replace the previous bad job, but create a job. Create an ideal job. That's what you want to do. I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you how to become an entrepreneur. But more than just becoming an entrepreneur, someone who creates a job to make money, I'm going to teach you how to become a social entrepreneur. I'm going to teach you how to create a job that makes money while helping people to learn, to have friends and family, and to reduce social problems, all simultaneously. In other words, I am going to teach you about the triple bottom line. The triple bottom line. What is the triple bottom line? Well, the triple bottom line has three elements. First, financial profit. Second, helping the environment. Third, improving social problems. And I am doing this because I believe there is a fourth bottom line, which is teaching people how to become social entrepreneurs. There are so many problems in the world. There's homelessness, AIDS, malaria, adult illiteracy, child poverty. The list goes on almost infinitely. It's time for people who have money and who care about the environment and who help others to teach others how they do it. So I'm going to be teaching you about examples of people who have done this. Now, in my classes, I show a series of videos called The New Heroes. It was a documentary shown on PBS about 6 years ago. And it showed about 12 stories of people all over the world who had combined their businesses, the financial aspect, the environmental aspect, and the social aspect, to change their country, to change people. So I'm going to be talking about these people. I'm going to talk about how they succeeded, why they succeeded, and what you can learn from them. So that's it for today. Thank you.